Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Orion Protocol. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. So I do want to keep this brief. Don't want to bore you for too long. So on the time chart, we are making a bullish divergence over here. So we're making a lower low on the price action or on the price chart, and we have made a higher high on the RSI. So if I just zoom in a bit, you can see that this was a higher high, and when the RSI fails to make a lower low, just like a lower high, just like on the RSI, that is signaling that the bulls are taking over, the bears are losing control, and this will have a move towards the upside. Basically, it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but it's just something to keep an eye on. So after this video comes out, perhaps the price is going to be doing a lot better than it is right now. Not saying that it's doing bad right now. It's doing great. Orion has been doing great. So let's jump into the weekly chart for a second over here. I'm just going to remove all the drawings so that you're not distracted by all of this. We do have the 20 weekly EMA above us, which we need to get above it. This is a key major resistance level at $7.80, and we are going to have that. We're going to either get rejected off of it, come back to a level of support, and then break it as resistance and test it as support, or we're just going to break through it and melt through it and then retest it as support straight away without getting rejected. And that would be, honestly, that would be the best thing. We're getting the third consecutive green bullish candle on the weekly chart. As you can see now, we have started making progress on the RSI on the weekly chart, which is great. We're making progress towards the upside, so all signs are pointing towards us moving up. So that bullish cross on the MACD is coming for confirmation of an uptrend. That is great. On the weekly chart, we're still not in an uptrend. We're not above the 20 EMA. We need to be above the 20 EMA in order to be in an uptrend. On the stock RSI, we have started the move towards the upside. So this is basically how the stock RSI works. And you bottom out, you top out. You bottom out, you top out. So as you can see over here, we're just in the beginning of this move. So we're going to see a lot of appreciation for the Orion token price. So keep that in mind. And let's jump into the daily chart right now. So on the daily chart, it's looking beautiful. We are above the 20 EMA. We're holding the 55 as support. We're just dipping below it just a tiny bit, but we're waiting for that bullish cross. We're getting squeezed down. If the EMA, if we don't break this as resistance and retest it as support and just keep on moving to the 200 EMA, then we're going to get squeezed by the 20 EMA, and that will force the price towards the upside. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, on the daily chart, we're looking very good. The 200 EMA is going to act as a strong level of resistance before the 20 weekly EMA. So the 200 on the daily is sitting at $7.34. So that could be a nice sell order, a nice level to sell some of your tokens and buy back in, or to sell some tokens if you bought the bottom, just like I have been signaling and telling you to do, is buy out this bottom, because that would give you 105% of profit if you bought here and sold here. Okay, let's say you bought in a bit higher. Let's say you bought in at, what is that? Okay, that is $4.15 or something. That is giving you 77% of profit. So that is still great. That is still massive. That is still massive. Okay, let's see what we're doing over here. So on the RSI, we just bounced off this level and we have come back down a bit on the RSI. So basically we're now recovering, which is great. Nothing out of the ordinary over here. On the MACD, we have formed the bullish cross on July 22nd, and now we're just gonna start getting above the histogram, which is a bullish sign. On the daily, though, we have been topping out here on the stock RSI, so this may indicate a move towards the downside. So keep an eye out for some levels that I'm gonna give you on Orion right now. So we're just gonna get rid of this fib retracement just for now. Okay, so this above us is a 20 weekly EMA. Don't get scared by all the drawings. They are very simple to understand. So on the grand scheme of things, we were in this falling wedge. As you can see, these two huge lines towards the downside. this was the falling wedge, and this is a bullish pattern. Once you come back closer to the apex, you tend to break out. 68% of the time, you break out of a pattern that is called the falling wedge. And the target out of that pattern is where the wedge was formed, and this was right here at $5.90, and that was met perfectly. And then we went more. We went above it. We met the target and then some. And this was our strong rejection level between $6.13 and $5.90. So now we have started opening up candles above this $6.13, which is great. And now we can just retest this red area as support and just keep bouncing up from here, which would be bullish. So effectively, this falling wedge played out perfectly. The pattern played out perfectly. We do have this broadening channel that we are in right now. As you can see, we touched this once, twice, 3 times, and the bottom once, 2 times, 3 times, 4, 5, and now for the 6th time. So this trend line is a strong support line. Make sure to have the chart out with me and make sure to draw this out. So obviously, we're going for that bullish cross on the daily chart. You have to keep that in mind. And once we get past this area, then it's great. I'm going to show another resistance level over here. So if we zoom out on the daily chart, you can see that we have this trend line that we're being suppressed by. So we had a touch of this trend line over here on May 19th, and we got rejected from there. Then we came back up, consolidated in this rectangle pattern, went back up, and got rejected on June 16th from it once again. Then we broke down even lower, started consolidating, had this falling wedge pattern, and now we're breaking out and we're testing this trend line as resistance once again. So perhaps if we can't break this resistance, guys, then you may look for some potential downside on Orion, and I'm going to give you some nice buy-in targets if that does happen. So obviously on the daily, the 20 EMA sitting currently at $5.54 is one of your best friends at the moment. Next up, we do have a nice support level at $5.32. That is another level that you want to keep an eye on. But if we start falling and we start losing the EMAs and losing $5.32, below that we have $4.90, which is a nice buying level, and below that $4.38.5. Obviously, if Bitcoin capitulates and we go down even lower, then all these levels below are good to buy. $4.06 and $3.60. So potentially, if Bitcoin crashes, we can come back down to those levels. We're not out of the woods yet completely. And I'm just going to bring back the fib over here because this is important, guys. This is important. So we have this impulsive wave from the bottom to the top over here. We haven't come back down to the 0.618, which is something that I'm anticipating, to be honest with you. It may never happen. Obviously, it may not happen, and we're not going to get the retest of the 0.618 of the golden ratio, which is sitting at $5.32. That is the support level, guys. So failing that, you still have the 0.5, which is sitting at $5, exactly $5, and you should be looking for those levels to buy back into Orion. But as you can see, there are a lot of resistance levels, and I'm going to explain all of them to you right now. We're going to jump into the 4-hourly chart, and we do have a bearish pattern playing out currently. So I'm going to explain all of that. We're going to remove the fib retracement right now because we don't need it. I showed you the levels that you needed to know, and we're just going to zoom out a bit. So now you can see this broadening channel to the upside a bit better. I'm going to try to make this a bit smaller. I don't want it standing out too much, or let's just make it a dotted line for that matter. Yep, like that. Great. So as you can see, we have made the bullish cross on the 4-hourly chart, which is great. It's confluence to the uptrend. We have lost it as support at the minute, but we got held up by this support line, guys, by this large support line that we created here at July 21st. As you can see. So we had some resistance on this trend line, on the resistance trend line from the falling wedge, but we're still adhering to this pattern. We still have the resistance above us over here. this will be our resistance. We have resistance from this strong trend line that we have been touching and you know, hitting our head since May. So that is a major key resistance level. If we're able to do something like this, break out of this, come back up and retest it as support, then that is, you know, that's just golden. You know, we've broken major resistance levels and now we can start moving back up. But as you can see, we were in this rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern as opposed to the falling wedge. As you can see, this is the rising wedge that we have over here. We have kind of invalidated, but we came back into the pattern and then we started breaking down. So the breakdown target from this pattern is where it was initially formed, and that would be, let's see, that would be $5.64. So that is a target that we're potentially eyeballing. But like I said, we did kind of invalidate this pattern, but we did come back down to it. A lot of the times I see patterns being invalidated, the price comes back into the price action of the pattern, and then their targets are met. So that is something that I'm seeing happen quite often. So you can expect that to happen. So $5.64, another great buying opportunity for Orion. Something else that can happen is we break down into this red zone, which is our support zone now, and we just bounce off this $5.90 price, and that is just going to be us consolidating for a bit until we pop out, because like I said, we do have a lot of these strong resistance levels. This resistance level of the rising wedge, then we're going to have this larger resistance like I've shown you already, since the one that we've been having since May, as you can see. So we want to break that, guys. But yeah, overall we're looking bullish on Orion. We're looking for that rejection on the 20 weekly EMA, because I don't think we're gonna break it that quickly, but obviously we can. I'm just expecting a rejection for a nice trade to play out. But if we don't, then that's all right. That's all right by me. I do want to see Orion by at $30 pretty much by October, to be honest with you. That is something that I'm expecting if we start getting more momentum and more FOMO with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is bullish right now. I'm going to be honest with you, Bitcoin is super bullish. And if it continues this way, we're going to be hitting new all-time highs by October, if not by September. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think of Orion. I gave you some nice support levels to take a look at. We didn't check the indicators, by the way, so we're going to do that right now. So on the RSI, we're hitting our head on this resistance level once again that we have been eyeballing since June 29th. And, you know, if we get rejected right now, we fail to break it as resistance and we come back down, that is potentially something. So over here, as you can see, this is what we're potentially looking at. There we go. So this is another trend line that we want to keep an eye on. So potentially we can come back down from here, bounce off this trend line, and that is where you're going to see the price come back to those key support levels that I just showed you. On the MACD, we have formed a bearish cross, but now we're curling up for that bullish cross, so keep that in mind as well. But on the stochastic RSI, and this is bullish, we have bottomed out and we're essentially in the bottom, and we are going to start moving back up. So this is bullish, guys. So potentially if we roll over, then yeah, we're coming back to the 55 EMA. We're coming back to the $5.32. But if Bitcoin continues smashing it, then I don't think we're going to be dipping lower than $5 anytime soon, and potentially never for Orion protocol. But yeah, try to draw this out on the charts, guys. Take screenshots or just pause the video, draw these out, learn how to use the patterns, because they are helpful in so many ways. So yeah, you do have this falling wedge, then the rising wedge, then this broadening channel, and it's really great. Okay, I'm just rambling on at this point. I do apologize, but that's it. I'm gonna catch the next one. Goodbye and good night.